On the search for another bead project to wear and share? You bet. So here it is, just for you, the modified ladder stitch bead bracelet. The modified ladder stitch bead bracelet is another simple design that looks fine with a shape that's turbo unique. It's got a boxy appearance, looks complex, and is built with the ladder stitch technique. Again, it's another bead bracelet you'll find great, fast, fun, and of course, easy to make. So let's get ready for this tutorial to satisfy your creative needs. Feel free to give this video a like and enjoy this episode of TurboBeads. Here's a list of everything you need to make the modified ladder stitch bead bracelet. To make the modified ladder stitch bracelet, we'll start out with 3 feet of string. I would recommend something thick with a little bit of elasticity to it. But first, I'll be using the straw technique for each section of this bracelet. So check this out. For the straw technique, you'll take a straw and split that straw down the center by cutting it with scissors. So watch close as I carefully cut the straw through the center. Splitting the straw through the center will make it easier to add beads to the straw. Basically, what we're doing is using the straw as a stabilizer for the row of beads to ensure they maintain a tight formation once added to the string. Now that the straw is split down the center, we can add beads to it. So I'll start by adding 2 red beads to the straw. With those beads on the straw, carefully cut off the end to keep that straw hidden within those beads. This is what it should look like. As an optional tip, you can use this for every section. From here, we'll take 3 feet of string and we'll add those 2 beads with the straw hidden within them to that string. Then, you'll match up the ends of the string, pushing those 2 red beads toward the center of the string. This will ensure that we have the beads in the middle of the string. Be sure to keep those beads in the center of the string to ensure we have the same length of string to use on both sides. With these beads set, we're now ready to create sections of this bracelet. So we'll take one end of the string and we're going to add 2 white beads to that string. Once you have those beads on the string, you'll run those beads toward the top. Then, you'll take your other end of string and you'll add 2 white beads to that string. With those beads on the string, you'll run those beads toward the top as well. From here, we'll take one end of the string and we'll add 2 blue beads to the string. Once you have those beads on the string, you'll take your other end of string and run it through those beads as well, going in the opposite direction. With that string coming out of each end of those beads, you'll pull both ends of the string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. As you can see, when the beads come together, this is what it should look like. With this square shape looking just like this will be the first section of the bracelet. Let's continue creating more sections of this bracelet, which is just as simple. So to make the next section of this bracelet, we're going to take one end of the string and we'll add 2 white beads to the string. When you have those beads on the string, you'll run those beads toward the top. Then, you'll take your other end of string, add 2 white beads to that string, running those beads toward the top as well. Next, you can take one end of the string and add 2 red beads to the string. With those beads on the string, you'll take your other end of string and run it through all of those beads as well, going in the opposite direction. With that string coming out of both sides of those beads, you'll pull both ends of the string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. Continue repeating the same steps when creating additional sections for this bracelet by adding 2 white beads to one end of the string, running those beads toward the top, taking the other end of string, adding 2 white beads to that string as well, running those to the top, then taking one end of the string, adding 2 blue beads to the string, then taking the other end of string and running it through all of those beads as well, going in the opposite direction. With the string coming out of each end of the beads, you'll pull both ends of the string until you've reached the top, bringing all of those beads together. So just continue repeating these steps, creating additional rows and sections of this bracelet until you have enough segments of beads to fit around your wrist. As I'm sure that you already know that everyone's wrist sizes are different, so be sure to adjust accordingly, as you may need to add more or less beads depending on the size of the wrist or the size of the beads. The end result of the bracelet may also vary if using different types of string, so just find what works best for you to fit your unique style. Continue watching as I assemble this bracelet. With this visual reference, you'll see that creating this bracelet should be turbo easy, with its simple repetitive steps of creating sections and rows of beads using the ladder stitch technique. As I've mentioned earlier, I've used the straw technique for each row and section of the beads ensuring that they maintain the desired shape of a square. And yes, of course, this step is optional and it's not required, but this method works best for me. As I'm sure that you can already see that I've used the colors red, white, and blue for the color scheme of this bracelet, alternating the red and blue rows in between each section, which I think is another perfect combination of colors and a pattern that looks good with this design. And of course, you're always able to use the color combination of your choice. The creative options are always in your hands. Leave a comment below and let me know what cool color combinations or patterns that you decide to use to make your bracelet. As I've said before, you may notice that assembling this bracelet is a very simple, repetitive process and can use a significant amount of beads depending on the size of the bracelet. But regardless of its simplicity and number of beads needed to create it, the end result will be well worth it. And as another quick tip, be sure that you pull the string evenly on both sides and just enough to keep those beads in a tight formation, ensuring that your bracelet maintains its shape and looks visually appealing. Continue watching as I add the final beads to the string. That's 2 white beads on each end of the strings. Now that we've finished the final section of this bracelet, this is what it should look like. You'll see that we'll have 2 ends of string on this end of the bracelet. To attach both ends of the bracelet together, you'll take one end of the string and you're going to run it through the first 2 beads that were added to the string. Be sure that it's the string on the same side of that bracelet, so watch close as I guide the string through these beads. When you pull the string all the way through, you'll see that the 2 ends will come together just like this. So now, in order to keep both ends of the bracelet attached, you'll tie both ends of string together with a square knot to lock all of the beads in place. Be sure when tying your string together that your knot is tied nice and secure to ensure that everything stays locked in place and stays together. Now that your string is tied together with knots that are solid and secure, all that is left is to carefully cut off the tied loose ends of string, and your modified ladder stitch bracelet is now complete. And there you have it, another fine bead bracelet design that was fast, fun, and easy to make. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful and you can create one just as great. If there's anything you would like to add, requests or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you are new, or you just haven't already, don't forget that you can always subscribe if you want to be notified for more bead tutorials just like this one. Hoping you'll tune in for the next one to satisfy your creative needs. Until next time, be sure to wear it and share it. Thanks for watching TurboBeads.